welcome back to part six to the interviews of lounge postings. Once again, this is Josh, your interviewer. Can you introduce me, interviewee?
Yeah. Yeah, hi everyone. This is Josh. I'm gonna introduce him.
W- and- Wait, huh? Wait, no, you're supposed to introduce yourself.
Oh, I see. Well, hi everyone. I'm Kyle. You know me from lounge posting. I've made some videos and I've been in some of the battles.
Yeah, so great to have you. Thanks for joining me. You are a pretty busy guy, so I appreciate that you made some time for me. Let's get right into the questions, all right? You know, I should have asked Eric this, but uh, you've been making some videos. Has that been fun for you? Do you enjoy making some of the videos, just analyzing some of the competitors' play styles?
Oh yeah, 100%. I've made some YouTube videos in the past, but they've been more of like montages. And it's been nice to make some calmer, less of a workload too. And it's super cool that, we're all a tight-knit group of friends, and it's awesome to be able to make content on that and just share our fun tournament with other people. Looks like we got some other people watching too, which is honestly really awesome.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think just what's nice about having it on YouTube is like we can look back on it too, and if we ever do like a season two and just kind of like see people's play styles and how it's evolved. So it's definitely awesome that we're making YouTube videos for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think a really cool thing is just to even see how our videos have evolved even from early in the season. Like, you can even hear just when we're talking, we're more confident on the mic. Eric's thumbnails have gotten crazier and cooler, and even some of our play styles have evolved in a bit where now we know that everyone's gonna see it, so we gotta perform like we mean it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just again a great way to kind of put some more stakes on the line too. Just having an audience watch our Pokemon battles and also just analyze how good we did or like give us some tips on how we can improve for sure. So let's kind of talk about your play style. You are kind of a setup sweeper kind of Pokemon player, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely, and when Jake introduced the draft format here where we have 2 of each, Smogon tier, I was thinking that it's really gonna come down to who has the most powerful OU Pokemon, because in a one-on-one format, it's really just your Pokemon versus the other guy's Pokemon, and a lot of the time, whoever's got the stronger one is gonna win, and I figured if I can just get some Pokemon that can become really strong, they'll be able to take out everyone else's. So that's the success that I've been able to have. Obviously, my Volcarona has been probably my MVP so far. Gardevoir has surprisingly put in some work as well, and Salamence can also be very scary.
Yeah, definitely a good, well-balanced team, to say the least. I mean, I remember facing you and using Gardevoir to like set up Reflect and
Mhm.
Light Screen for your Volcarona to use Quiver Dance. So, definitely, if you're not prepared for it or just aren't watching your opponent's play, that can definitely catch you off guard. And
Yeah, definitely.
I think something that's interesting about the Pokemon League too is like and I should do better about this. It's just watching other people's play styles and see what they normally do. And I think that's where you or like um Eric have the advantage, or even Ben, but he's not doing so hot. Like you have the advantage where you can like analyze people's play styles and go, oh yep, that's how that person plays. Okay, I can kind of like plan my Pokemon team around that.
Yeah, that's what I really like about our format where you have somewhat of an idea what your opponent's gonna bring, but you can never be 100% sure. There's 6 slots, and we got 10 Pokemon. Your opponent's more than likely gonna bring their stronger Pokemon, but you always have to prepare for them on the off chance that they bring the NU Pokemon or even the PU Pokemon. Ben has brought a lot of his PU Pokemon. That's been kind of a come to be expected from his team. But it's cool to do your team prep where you have an idea of what your opponent can bring. That way you can tailor your own Pokemon sets and who yourself is going to bring. And it just brings out these mind games and where you can try to prepare the best you can. That's the cool thing about this league. It's Pokemon, so it's not gonna always be the more skilled person that's gonna win. You have the luck factor. Obviously, the more prep and the better prepared you are, the better your chances are. But the cool thing about Pokemon is sometimes you just get one lucky crit and a game can go your way.
I think since we're on the topic, I think you've been accused of hacking or like influencing the crit ratio. Do you have any responses to that at all? I don't want to point out a certain individual, but there is some things going around saying that you are kind of influencing the luck on a certain someone. Is this true or no?
Yeah, all I would have to say is if I was influencing the luck, I would be undefeated right now. I wouldn't have gotten paralyzed against Jake.
Yeah, actually,
Still sad about that.
let's talk about that. That was a really close battle between you and Jake. And for sure, like we were talking about just luck and how, um, if you didn't get paralyzed, you definitely would have won that game for sure. Uh, and maybe go undefeated. So just kind of talk to me about that. Has that kind of like ruined your mentality just losing to Jake, or has that kind of like made you like even work harder to build your team so then there isn't like that paralysis like luck involved?
Yeah, I think it was really cool to start out the season basically because that was the first video that YouTube that Eric posted to YouTube. And that kind of started us all making our own videos on the battles. And I'd I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed with the result of that battle. 25% chance to get paralyzed and not be able to move. And then the Stone Edge, the 80% chance that also hit. If we go back to that battle, I know it was a long time ago. Viewers, feel free to rewatch that one because it's a pretty intense fight. But at that moment, I had a fully maxed Quiver Dance Volcarona, so +4 in both special stats as well as speed. And all I needed to do was hit a Bug Buzz on Tyranitar. If that happened, it definitely would have killed it, even with Sandstorm, even with Assault Vest, because max special attack Volcarona, that's gonna kill anything basically. At that point, all Jake had was special attackers left, and his only hope would have been a crit or tons of paralysis in a row. But I think that battle definitely showed that Jake can be beaten. He's definitely gotten some help from some RNG and some other matches as well. I don't want to give anything away, but he's got an interesting one coming up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just um, what was I gonna say? I don't want to spoil it either, but definitely like it's always a roll of the dice for, just Pokemon battling and you can get really, really lucky multiple times and then you just get one unlucky like turn and then that's where you just go downhill. And it's definitely interesting just how that one unlucky like turn can change how the battle goes. Um
Definitely.
Definitely, and that's what's so great about Pokemon. Um, let's kind of switch gears a bit. So you have been pretty consistent bringing the same 5 Pokemon: Goldingo, Volcarona, Salamence, Donphan, Gardevoir, and then just kind of every so often bringing in either an NU or a PU. Do you just want to kind of talk me through just why you keep bringing the same Pokemon? And then also just why you haven't brought out your Ditto at all, because your Ditto hasn't seen any action.
Yeah, I think it started off with basically being a coincidence that I kept bringing the same, was it 5 Pokemon? So yeah, each time I've just saw those 5 as my best options, And then for the first one, I brought Spidops for Sticky Web against Jake because he had a lot of fast Pokemon. And that was week one, so I did a ton of speed calculations to make sure that with Sticky Web, my Pokemon would just barely outspeed Jake, so that way I could invest my EVs in other areas. And then the Ice Goo I drafted specifically for Ben because I wanted to do a belly drum sweep, and it worked out to some success for a PU Pokemon. Then the Chansey, I really I wanted to draft Chansey basically so people couldn't use it against me because I do have quite a few strong special attackers. I did use it against you, but
Yes, I remember
it
that.
I don't really think I needed it to win against you. No offense, but I probably should have just brought in something else, but wanted to give Chansey some light. And then the
Absolutely.
Rabsca I brought against Eric, and it ended up coming in clutch with the Psychic Terrain. I picked that up in free agency just to have that Revival Blessing, which is absolutely insane in one-on-one. But yeah, the reason why I really haven't used Ditto yet is because I just saw better use out of something else in that slot. I do have people in mind that I'm gonna bring the Ditto against. I don't wanna say who it is or who they are right now just because I don't wanna give away my strategy, but I also knew that I was gonna go for some setup strategies, so like Jake has pointed out to some of our friends, I've drafted the Ditto mostly as preventative so people can't use it against me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very smart pick just to keep the Ditto with you. Again, just because you do like playing with like a setup-esque play style. So having a Ditto like against you is definitely a disadvantage. Um, and also I think just going off of like the tournament that we're gonna have at the end of this league, um, the Ditto is gonna be really good to have on your team just as a as a floater in case maybe a team you're up against you don't have coverage for, and the Ditto can help like cover that by transforming into that Pokemon. So it's definitely a good Pokemon just to keep in the back pocket.
Oh yeah, Ditto has many different uses. I mean, I tried to pick Pokemon that could fit a lot of different roles. Like Goldango is just absolutely versatile. Volcarona, I've ran a few different sets. Salamence, he can be good physical, he can be good special. Donphan can be a hazard remover, hazard setup, and just really tanky overall. And the Ditto, he can be used as a scout. He can be used as an anti-setup sweeper, all sorts of different roles. So I think versatility in these drafts are definitely a big deal.
Yeah, speaking of versatility, some of your Pokemon are quite versatile. So, just building your Pokemon, which has been your favorite, just using and building? I ask this to everybody, but it's a good question.
Oh yeah. There's been a lot of Pokemon that I've liked experimenting with different sets. I mean, obviously, Salamence, the majority of the time, you just go max attack, Dragon Dance, and just kill everything. Volcarona is also interesting because I've gone with offensive Quiver Dance sets. Against Ben, I ran a Choice Specs Volcarona. Anytime you don't run heavy duty boots on Volcarona, you run the risk of running into Stealth Rock. So that's where I have to come prepared with Donphan to remove the Stealth Rock. So that way I don't take half health each time I swap in. One of them that I've had trouble coming up with sets is Goldango, just because against certain people or against certain teams, Goldango can't really do much against them, and it gets good, strong moves. But even though it's very versatile, I myself haven't found ways to use it against everyone. So in some matches, just been kind of sitting in the back and just shadow balling a few times and dying. So I think I might need to do some more research on Golden Go sets and just to figure out just how good it is with the different sets. I think that's definitely the most potential that I haven't unlocked yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And I felt the same with Box Excalibur. I just there was so much potential, but I wasn't using it properly, and he just didn't fit my play style. So I had to kind of switch up my strategy there. Uh,
Yeah. And the cool thing, just to explain for anyone that doesn't know, we have 4 changes that we can make to our teams. Basically, we can trade with another player if both people agree. That hasn't happened yet. Or we can put in a claim to drop one of our Pokemon and then pick up another one that was undrafted from the same tier. So I currently have a pickup pending because Spidops dropped the tier. When he was drafted, he was in NU, but now he's in PU. Doesn't mean that Spidops got any weaker, it just means that less people were using him. So since I drafted him in the NU slot, I was able to pick up another Pokemon from NU. So after this week happens, I'll no longer have Spidops, and I will instead have Jolteon as an option.
Interesting. Yeah. I got to look at my team too because my Armarouge turned in from an OU to a RU, a UU.
Oh, are you?
No,
Oh yeah,
UU.
you. That
UU.
makes sense.
Sorry.
No, you're
So I
good.
have to kind of draft another OU Pokemon, um, or or just risk keeping my Armarouge. But um, yeah, definitely just a lot of interesting things going on, especially during our league. So um, I don't know if they're against me. I don't know if Pokemon Showdown is against me or not, but we'll see. Uh, let's kind of talk about you and your future opponents. You have quite a lineup. You have Alex, then William, then Tristan, then Michael. Uh, I don't want to. You pretty much got the hard opponents out of the way. I mean, you started with Jake, and then um, I mean, Ben, and I don't want. I have to interview Ben tomorrow, so we'll see. And then Eric, and now you have to face Alex, and then William and Tristan are pretty decent, but the one I'm looking forward to is you against Michael. So, kind of talk to me. Are you excited about your next four opponents? Do you think you're gonna have to plan a lot, or just kind of talk me through your process?
Yeah, so I've definitely done a lot of planning in the past. The person I was most worried about going in with the plans was probably Eric. And I would, in the beginning of the season, as early on when the battles were happening, I was thinking that it was going to be Jake, myself, Eric, and Michael, like the distinct upper half. But Alex has made his way into the top, and he has used his Legend Arceus Zoroark very well. So he's really forced everyone to respect him in that case. You really never know what you're gonna get when you're facing him because all of a sudden you might have a Whiscash using Nasty Plot, and then you're done for. But I think definitely Alex and Michael are gonna be the matches to look out for. And William, early on, like right after draft day, I was thinking he was gonna be up there because he's got some versatile Pokemon, but unfortunately, the dice haven't hasn't landed his way. He's made a few unfortunate mistakes here and there. And Tristan, even though he hasn't had a win yet, he's had a lot of really good plays and really good shines of light here and there. So he's been kind of the wild card. I don't know if he has a chance to make the playoffs here. He might have to win out, but he can definitely play a really strong spoiler. So I've learned not to take any opponents lightly because anything can happen in this league. So I'm just looking forward to some exciting matches starting off with Alex next week,
And
or
that's
this
a
week, actually.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's a great way of thinking. Um, especially, just always taking everybody seriously, that is a good thing to have for a mindset, especially when you are so close with some other people in the league for scores, and getting second place is really gonna matter with how the tournament is gonna look like. So um definitely aiming for second place is gonna be a nice break for you. So best of luck to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. I mean,
Any
first
call
place
out?
is still up there. Jake could still lose some.
That's true. That is true. Jake does have three tough opponents left, so that is definitely up in the air. But we'll see how his planning goes and if RNG is still with him. So Definitely looking forward to seeing what Jake has in store for us. Any call outs? We're gonna end it. This was a bit of a longer interview. But
I tend to ramble.
no, that's okay. It's good. I kind of wanted a longer interview. Any call outs that you want to make? Could be to anybody. Uh, you know, the floor is yours.
I don't wanna call out any future opponents because I don't wanna look like a fool coming back if I just get obliterated by any of them. But I think for myself, I just need to think short term, take it 1 week at a time. We've seen major sports teams maybe get a 1 or 2 seed, and they're thinking long term. They're thinking, all right, how are we going to win the Super Bowl? And they lose the first round of the playoffs. Just got to keep taking it 1 week at a time, take every point seriously. But I think someone who should be afraid is actually Jake. Jake, if we meet each other in the playoffs, I'm coming back with a vengeance. We're
Yeah,
not gonna get para hacks this time. There was a different league that I was in called Batty Smash, the Smash Bros. League. A few seasons back, there was this newcomer, and he beat me in the winners bracket in the playoffs. He was looking unstoppable the whole regular season, but I was able to take a game off of him, so that gave me confidence that I knew I could do it. And then in the losers bracket, I was able to beat him. So let's hope that that history can repeat itself where I know I can beat Jake. I just know it. If I do a few things better, I know it. One of the biggest comeback mechanics in any game is confidence. And Jake, I have confidence. So look out, buddy.
Kyle, if you win, you're gonna be Comeback Confidence. All K's. Anyways,
Yep.
that is the end of our video interview. Thank you so much for your time. Uh,
Thank you for having me, bud.
yeah, it's been a pleasure. This is Lounge Postings signing off.